So today class about theory of inference for statement calculus. Theory of inference for statement calculus. So definition, the main aim of logic is to provide rules of inference to infer a conclusion from certain premises. So here the theory associated with rules of inference is known as inference theory. So means, so first of all we came to know about premise. What is premise? So premise is a set of axioms or assumptions or hypothesis. Premise is a set of axioms or assumptions or hypothesis. Okay. So the process of deriving solution using these set of premises is called theory of inference. So the main aim of logic is to provide rules of inference to infer a conclusion from certain premises. The theory associated with the rule of inference is known as inference theory. So in this, premise means set of hypothesis. Okay. The process of deriving a solution using this set of premise is known as inference theory, theory of inference. So if a conclusion is derived from set of premises by using the accepted rules of reasoning, then such a process of derivation is called a deduction or a formal proof, and the argument is called a valid argument, or conclusion is called a valid conclusion. So in this, we have derived some conclusion from using given premises. Okay, that conclusion is called valid conclusion. Next one, let A and B be two statement formulas. We say that B logically follows from A. B logically follows from A means if A has truth value true, then B is also has truth value true. If A has truth value false, then B is also having truth value false. So this can be said like this: B logically follows from A, or B is valid conclusion of the premise A. B is valid conclusion of the premise A. Okay, if and only if A implication B is the tautology. A implication B is the tautology. Tautology means the truth values are true. That is, A implies B. So, for example, here we say that a set of premises H1, H2 and so on Hm, and a conclusion C follows logically. It denotes like this: H1 and H2 and so on and Hn, which gives conclusion. C means conclusion. So using the given premises, we derive the conclusion. So H1 and H2 and so on and Hn, which gives conclusion. So to determine whether the conclusion logically follows from the given premises, we use the following methods: truth table method without constructing truth table method. So to determine whether the conclusion logically follows from the given premises, we use the methods truth table method and without constructing truth table method. Okay. Methods for finding valid arguments. Methods for finding valid arguments are validity using, there are 5 methods. First one, validity using truth table. Second one, rules of inference. Third one, rules of conditional proof. Fourth one, indirect method of proof. And fifth one, consistency of premises. So in that first one, validity using truth tables. Validity using truth table means, in validity using truth table, construct a truth table for the given premises. Construct truth table for given premises. Okay, so compare truth values of premises. Compare truth values of premises and the conclusion. Compare truth values of premises and the conclusion. Both are true, then the given argument is valid. If both are true and conclusion is false, then given argument is invalid. So here, given a set of premises and a conclusion, it is possible to determine whether the conclusion logically follows from the given premises by constructing truth tables as follows. So, set of premises and a conclusion. So, premises and conclusion, it is mentioned in problem itself. So, it is possible to determine whether the conclusion logically follows from the given premises by constructing truth tables as follows. So, how to construct truth table for given premises? Let P1, P2 and so on Pn be all the atomic variables. So here premise is a set of atomic variables. In that premise, first we write the atomic variables appearing in the premise. So given premises denotes H1, H2 and so on Hm. In that premises, we consider atomic variables P1, P2, Pn and conclusion C. Okay, ఇచ్చిన ప్రిమిస్ నుండి మనము అటామిక్ వేరియబుల్స్ ని కన్సిడర్ చేస్తాము. ఓకేనా? సో హియర్ ప్రిమిస్ మీన్స్ సెట్ ఆఫ్ hypothesis. If all possible combinations of truth values are assigned to P1, P2, Pn. So if in given premise the possible truth values మనము టేబుల్ లో P1 కి ఉన్న truth values నోట్ చేస్తాము, P2 కి ఉన్న if suppose P1 value is P implication Q, so the truth values of P implication Q we note down in table. Okay, and if the truth values of H1, H2 and so on Hm and C are entered in the table, ఇచ్చిన statements లోని premises కి and conclusion కి truth values నోట్ చేస్తాం. After that, we look for the row in which all H1, H2 and so on Hm have the value true. If for every such row, C also has the truth value true. Okay, ఇక్కడ ఏం చెప్తున్నారంటే మనకి ఇచ్చిన ప్రిమిసెస్ H1 having truth values, we note down the truth values of H1 and we note down the truth values of H2 and we note down the truth values of conclusion C. So ఏ రోలో అయితే both H1, H2 and conclusion C having truth value true ఉంటుందో, then we say that the given statement is true. Okay na? Otherwise it is invalid argument. If in case of H1 is true and H2 is true but the conclusion C having truth value false, then we say that the given argument is invalid. Okay, so valid and invalid arguments. An argument with the premises P1, P2, P3 and so on Pn and conclusion C is said to be valid if whenever each of premises is true, then the conclusion C is also true. So here both premises and conclusion having truth value true, then we say that it is a valid argument. Whenever each of premise is true, then the conclusion is false, we say that invalid, given argument is invalid argument. So let us consider example. Determine whether the conclusion C follows logically from the premises H1 and H2. These are the questions. First question. Here given premise is H1 P implication Q, H2 P and conclusion Q. Conclusion is Q. Means in truth table we consider the truth values of P and Q and P implication Q. We comparing P and P implication Q. Then Q is also having truth value. then we say that this argument is valid. Okay, so these are the questions asked in this example. So first we construct a truth table. So here the table columns are P, Q, P implication Q, negation P, and negation of P and Q, and P by implication Q. Okay. So we first construct the appropriate truth table as shown in the table. So P, Q, P implication Q, negation P, negation P and Q, P by implication Q. Okay. These are the atomic statements in given premises. P, Q, P implication Q, negation P and Q, P by implication Q. First we write the truth values of these. P having truth values true, true, false, false, and Q having truth values true, false, true, false. P implication Q. So what is the rule for implication? When P is true and Q is false, then compound statement is false. Remaining cases it is true. Okay. So negation P. So when P is true, negation P is false. So true, false, false, true, true. The truth values are false, false, true, true. So negation of P and Q. First of all, P and Q. P and Q. Rule of conjunction is when P and Q both are true, the value is true. Otherwise, it is false. So in first case, it is having truth value true. So we considering here negation of P and Q means in first case the value is false. In remaining cases, it is true. Okay. P by implication Q. So what is the rule of by implication? Both P comma Q are having same truth values, then it is true. Otherwise, it is false. So in first case, both values are true, true. So it is true. And in fourth case, both values are false. Then it is true. So both having truth values, same truth values, then their compound statement is true. Otherwise, it is false. Okay. These are the given premises truth values. So from this, we concluded that for first question, so given condition is H1 P implication Q and H2 P and conclusion is Q. So here in first row, both P implication Q and both P having truth value true. In such case, Q conclusion is also having truth value true. So we observe that the first row is the only row in which both the premises have the truth value true and the conclusion also has the truth value true in that row. Hence it is valid. So from this we say that it is valid statement, valid argument. So H1 premise P implication Q and H2 premise P and their conclusion Q are all having truth value true in first row. So from this we say that the given argument is valid. Okay na? So next second question, P implication Q and H2 premise is negation P. Then conclusion is Q. P implication Q, H2 premise is negation P and conclusion C is Q. Okay. So first we compare those columns. So P implication Q in this negation P. So in P implication Q both are true in third row. P implication Q and negation P both are having truth value true in third row and fourth row. In that two cases, conclusion Q having true in third row only. True in third row only, but not in fourth row. Okay, that's why this is not valid argument. So ఇక్కడ మనకి first ఇచ్చిన premise P implication Q, second ఇచ్చిన premise negation P and their conclusion is Q. So P implication Q value true అయి ఉండి negation P true అయి ఉండి conclusion true అయితే అది valid statement అంటాం. ఓకేనా? సో ఇక్కడ రెండు ట్రూ అయ్యి కన్క్లూజన్ మాత్రం ఫాల్స్ అని వచ్చింది కాబట్టి ఇన్ ఫోర్త్ కేస్ ఇట్ ఈస్ invalid. So this statement is invalid in these cases. Okay na? So oka case lo true ayi inkoka case lo false avadu kada. So the argument is invalid argument. The premise H1 P implication Q and H2 negation P, which gives conclusion false. So it is invalid argument. Third question, P implication Q and Q value is negation P and Q. So similarly, and the third question ఏముంది ఇక్కడ? P implication Q, negation P and Q, conclusion negation P. So we compare P implication Q and negation P and Q. In third row, all, so H1 premise having truth value true and negation P and Q also having truth value true. So their conclusion negation P is also having truth value true. So it is valid argument. In these two cases, third and fourth cases, we conclude that the given argument is valid. Okay. D question. H1 is negation P and H2 is P by implication Q. Conclusion is negation P and Q. So H1 is negation P. H2 premise is P by conditional Q. Conclusion is negation P and Q. So we compare negation P and by implication. So negation P having truth value true in fourth case and P by implication. Both are same in fourth case. For that, the conclusion is also true, negation P and Q. In fourth case, premises and conclusion both are having truth value true. So it is valid argument. Okay. So E problem, P implication Q, the conclusion is P. For P implication Q and Q, the conclusion is P. So P implication Q. So here P implication Q and Q false and P value false. In third case, both are true, but their conclusion P is false. So it is invalid argument. So from this, we concluded that we observe that the first row is the only row in which both the premises have the truth value. The conclusion also has the truth value true in that row, hence it is valid. For second question, the third and fourth rows, the conclusion Q is true only when in the third row, but not in the fourth row. So it is invalid argument. Similarly, we can show that the conclusions are valid in C and D, but not in E. E endukani valid kaagandi. Ikkada E daggara P implication Q having truth value true and second premise also having truth value true, but their conclusion having truth value false. So it is invalid argument. Okay. So another method for finding valid arguments is rules of inference. Rules of inference. So premises, in that the following are two important rules of inference. First one, rule P. A premise may be introduced at any point in the derivation. So a premise may be introduced at any point in the derivation. మనం డెరివేషన్ చేసేటప్పుడు ఇచ్చిన ప్రిమిస్ ని ఎప్పుడైనా మనం ఇంట్రడ్యూస్ చేయొచ్చు. ఇచ్చిన ప్రిమిస్ ని ఎప్పుడైనా ఇంట్రడ్యూస్ చేయొచ్చు. దాన్ని రూల్ పి అంటాం. రూల్ టి, ఏ ఫార్ములా S may be introduced in a derivation of S is tautologically implied by one or more of the preceding formulas in the derivation. So a formula S may be introduced in a derivation if S is tautologically implied by one or more of the preceding formulas in the derivation. Means, so given premises lo two premises ni use cheskoni manaki తెలిసిన ఫార్ములాస్ అప్లై చేసి న్యూ ఫార్ములాని డిరైవ్ చేస్తే దాన్ని రూల్ పి అంటాం. ఓకేనా. రూల్ పి మీన్స్ గివెన్ ప్రిమిస్ ని ఇంట్రడ్యూస్ చేయడం రూల్ టీ మీన్స్ ఆ ఉన్న ప్రిమిసెస్ ని యూజ్ చేసుకొని న్యూ ఫార్ములాని డిరైవ్ చేయడాన్ని రూల్ టీ అంటాం. ఓకేనా? ఇది ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ సాల్వ్ చేసేటప్పుడు మీకు క్లియర్ గా అర్థమవుతుందండి. గివెన్ ప్రిమిసెస్ ని ఇంట్రడ్యూస్ చేస్తే దాన్ని రూల్ టీ అంటాము. ఆల్రెడీ ఉన్న ప్రిమిసెస్ ని యూజ్ చేసుకొని న్యూ ఫార్ములాని డిరైవ్ చేస్తే దాన్ని రూల్ టీ అంటాం. ఓకేనా? ఏ ఫార్ములా S may be introduced in a derivation if S is tautologically implied by one or more of the preceding formulas in the derivation. Okay? So some of the inference rules here, very important. First one, modus ponens. Modus ponens. So from P implication Q and P implication Q and P, we concluded the conclusion Q. This is called modus ponens. This is called modus ponens. Represent in symbolic form P implication Q and P, which gives the conclusion Q. So here Q is conclusion. So modus ponens rules from P implication Q. ఇవి ఫార్ములాస్ అండి. ఇవి ఎక్కడైతే మనకి ఉంటాయో మనం ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ డిరైవ్ చేసేటప్పుడు ఈ ఫార్ములాస్ యూజ్ చేస్తాము. ఫ్రమ్ P implication Q and P, we are concluded Q. It represents in symbolic form P implication Q and P, which gives conclusion Q. Second one, modus tollens. Modus tollens. So from P implication Q and negation Q, we concluded negation P. We concluded negation P. Represent P implication Q and negation Q, which gives the conclusion negation P. This is called modus tollens. This is called modus tollens. Third one, from P or Q and negation P, we concluded Q. P or Q and negation P, we concluded Q. This is called disjunctive syllogism. Disjunctive syllogism. Okay. From P implication Q and Q implication R, we conclude P implication R. From P implication Q and Q implication R, we conclude P implication R. This is called hypothetical syllogism. Okay, hypothetical syllogism. Next one, P implication Q and R implication Q and PRR. From P implication Q and R implication S and PRR, we conclude QRS. We conclude QRS. This is called constructive dilemma. Constructive dilemma. Next one, from P implication Q and R implication Q and negation Q or negation S, we conclude negation P or negation R. We conclude negation P or negation R. This is called disjunctive dilemma. These are the inference rules we have to use in derivation of the given premises. Okay. First one, modus ponens and modus tollens, disjunctive syllogism, hypothetical syllogism. Next one, constructive dilemma, disjunctive dilemma. These are called rules of inference. Okay. So problems, test whether the following are valid argument. Test whether the following are valid argument. First one, so these are the given premises. If Sachin hits a century, then he gets a free car. If Sachin hits a century, then he gets a free car. This is first premise, H1. Okay. Second premise is Sachin hits a century, H2. And the conclusion, therefore, means it reads as a conclusion for these premises. Okay. If first premise is if Sachin hits a century, then he gets a free car. Second premise H2 is Sachin hits a century. Their conclusion is Sachin gets a free car. Sachin gets a free car. So, what is the question? Given it is valid argument or not. Okay. So, solution. First, we write the atomic statements of given premise. So, in these atomic statements are Sachin hits a century and he gets a free car. He gets a free car. These two are the atomic statements in this premise. And second premise repeats, Sachin hits a century. So here atomic statements are Sachin hits a century, he gets a free car. So given premises are denoted in symbolically. So P implication Q. P means Sachin hits a century. A condition is if then condition. So the connective is implication. If Sachin hits a century, then he gets a free car. So the symbolic form is if P, then Q. So P implication Q. And second premise is Sachin hits a century. So what is the atomic statement? P. So from P implication Q and P, the conclusion is Sachin gets a free car. So the symbolic form is Q. So P implication Q, P, which gives the conclusion Q. Is this a valid or not? By using modus ponens rule, the given argument is valid. So what is modus ponens rule? P implication Q, P, from P implication Q and P were concluded Q. Okay. So from modus ponens, we concluded that the given argument is valid. So next one, another problem. If Sachin hits a century, then he gets a free car. If Sachin hits a century, then he gets a free car. And second premise is Sachin does not get a free car. Sachin does not get a free car. Their conclusion is, therefore means it reads like conclusion. Sachin does not hit a century. Sachin does not hit a century. So first we write atomic statement for given premises. So P, Sachin hits a century, and Q, he gets a free car. In second premise, the statement is Sachin does not get a free car, means opposite to Sachin hits a century. So negation P, Sachin does not hit a century. And Sachin does not hit a century. So he does not get a free car. So negation Q, he does not get a free car. He does not get a free car. Okay. So in symbolic form is symbolic form of first premise. If Sachin, if then condition. So the symbol is connective is implication. If P then Q means P implication Q, and symbolic form of second premise Sachin does not get a free car is negation Q. And the conclusion is Sachin does not hit a century. Sachin does not hit a century. It represents negation P. So from P implication Q and negation Q, the conclusion is negation P. This is invalid. This is invalid statement. So there is no any rule for this. We have the rule modus ponens P implication Q. Sorry, we have the rule modus tolerance. P implication Q, negation Q. The conclusion is negation P. So the statement is valid statement. B implication Q and negation Q. Then their conclusion is negation P. Means if Sachin hits a century, then he gets a free car. Sachin does not get a free car. The conclusion is Sachin does not hit a century. So the given argument is valid by modus tollens rule. By modus tollens rule. Okay. So another problem. If Sachin hits a century, then he gets a free car. Sachin hits a century, then he gets a free car. Okay. And the conclusion is Sachin has hit a century. Conclusion is Sachin has hit a century. So first we'll write atomic statements. P, Sachin hits a century. And Q, he gets a free car. Okay, he gets a free car. So the symbolic form is if-then condition. So P implication Q and Q, which gives the conclusion Sachin has hit a century. So we have the formula P implication Q, negation Q, which gives the conclusion negation Q by modus tollens. But it is not a valid statement. P implication Q, from P implication Q and Q, which is not gives P. This is invalid argument. Okay. P implication Q and Q, which gives the conclusion P is invalid. Okay. So what is the reason we show in truth table? So the values, the atomic variables P, Q, P having truth values true, true, false, false, Q having truth values true, false, true, false. So in that premise, first premise P implication Q, and second premise Q. Okay. So their conclusion is P. So first we write truth values for P, true, true, false, false, and Q, true, false, true, false. P implication Q, when P is true and Q is false, their compound statement has false. In remaining cases, it is true. And P implication Q and Q, and means both are true, then it is true, otherwise it is false. In first case, both statements having truth value true, so it is true. In third case also, both statements having truth value true, so it is true. In remaining cases, it is false. Okay. So the conclusion from this statement. So P implication Q and Q both are true in first case, and conclusion P is also having truth value true. But in third case, both P and Q both are having truth value true, but the conclusion P having truth value false. So from this we can conclude that the given argument is invalid. So when we say that the given argument valid, both premises having truth value true and their conclusion is also having truth value true, then we say that given argument is valid, otherwise it is invalid. Okay. Next problem. If I drive to work, then I will arrive tired. I am not tired. So first premise is if I drive to work, then I will arrive tired. So second premise, I am not tired. So conclusion is I don't drive to work. I don't drive to work. So first we consider the atomic variables. For P, I drive to work. For Q, I will arrive tired. And negation Q, I am not tired, and negation P, I don't drive to work. So the symbolic form of given premises are from P implication Q and negation Q. P P implication Q and negation Q. The conclusion is, we are concluded that negation P. We are concluded negation P. So I don't drive to work means negation P. So by the modus tollens, the given argument is valid from P implication Q and negation Q, which gives negation P. So how it is valid, we shown in truth table, using truth table. So first we consider atomic variables P, Q and negation Q, PR negation Q, PR negation Q and Q, PR negation Q and Q are implication P. So truth values true, true, false, false. Q having truth values true, false, true, false. Negation Q having truth values false, true, false, true. P are negation Q. So the rule of disjunction is both are false, then it is false. Otherwise it is true. In third case, both are false. So the compound statement having truth value false. Otherwise it is truth value true. So in this connective is conjunction. So rule is both are true, it is true. Otherwise it is false. In first case, both are true. In remaining cases, it is false. Okay. So now we compare the values PR negation Q and Q. PR negation Q and Q. Both are having truth value true in first case, and the conclusion P also having truth value true. And so implication. So the truth values of this relation is true, 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 true. So it is tautology. So we concluded that the given argument is valid. Okay. Another problem. If I study, then I do not fail in the exam. If I study, then I do not fail in the examination. So if I don't fail in the examination, my father gives a two-wheeler to me. If I don't fail in the examination, my father gives a two-wheeler to me. So the conclusion of these premises are, if I study, then my father gives a two-wheeler to me. So in this, first we write the atomic statements. So P, I study. I study. So Q premise is, I don't fail in the examination. So I don't fail in the examination. So another premise here it is, my father gives a two-wheeler to me. Okay, my father gives a two-wheeler to me. So for first premise, what is the symbolic form? If I study, then I do not fail in the examination. If then condition. So we using connective implication. P implication Q. If I study, then I do not fail in the examination. In second premise, if I don't fail in the examination, my father gives a two-wheeler to me. So here the premise are, I don't fail in the examination. So the symbolic form is Q. So the relation is Q implication R. So from P implication Q and Q implication R, which gives the conclusion P implication R, means if I study, then my father gives a two-wheeler to me. If I study, then my father gives a two-wheeler to me. So this is a hypothetical syllogism. Hypothetical syllogism. So P implication Q, Q implication R, which gives the conclusion P implication R. By using hypothetical syllogism rule, it is valid argument. So it is valid argument. Okay. So let us consider another method to rule of conditional proof. Rule of conditional proof. So rule CP, it denotes rule CP. Conditional proof means it denotes rule CP. Rule CP stands for rule of conditional proof. Rule CP stands for rule of conditional proof. It states that if we can derive a formula from P and set of premises, then we can derive P implication Q from the set of premises. So rule CP stands for conditional proof. It states that if we can derive S from R and a set of premises, then we can derive R implication S or P implication Q from the set of premises. So let us consider an example. Demonstrate that R is valid inferences from the premises. ఇక్కడ given premises ఏంటి? P implication Q, Q implication R and P. From these premises, we derive the conclusion R. Okay. So given premises are P implication Q, Q implication R and P. From these premises, we have to derive the valid inference R. So solution. So P implication Q, Q implication R, P. These are the given premises. We have to conclusion. We have to derive the conclusion R. So first one. In these premises, ఫస్ట్ ఏ ప్రిమిస్ అయినా కన్సిడర్ చేయొచ్చండి. ఓకేనా? ఇక్కడ ఫస్ట్ పి ఇంప్లికేషన్ క్యూ ఇచ్చారని మనం ఫస్ట్ పి ఇంప్లికేషన్ క్యూఏ కన్సిడర్ చేయాలని అవసరం లేదు. మనం ఎలాగైనా కన్సిడర్ చేయొచ్చు. కానీ బట్ ఫైనల్లీ వీ హ్యావ్ టు డిరైవ్ ద కన్క్లూజన్ ఆర్. సో ఇన్ గివెన్ ప్రిమిసెస్ ఫస్ట్ వీ కన్సిడర్ పి ఇంప్లికేషన్ క్యూ. సో ఇది ఇచ్చిన ప్రిమిస్ కాబట్టి దాని ఇక్కడ మనం ఎదురుగా ఏం రాస్తున్నాము? రూల్ పి. సో గివెన్ ప్రిమిస్ కాబట్టి డినోట్స్ రూల్ పి. ఓకే. And second one, another premise. We consider another premise P. This is also given premise. So we write rule P. So P implication Q, rule P. Rule P means what problem lo ichina premise ni use chestunte danni manam rule P ani mention chestam. Okay na? In second step, we consider another premise P. This is also rule P. In third step, rule T means we derive a formula from these two steps. So that's why we mention here it is rule T using modus ponens rule from 1 2 steps ki మనం modus ponens rule apply చేసి మనం Q third step ni derive చేసాం. ఏమని? Q. So P implication Q, from P implication Q and P, it gives the conclusion Q using modus ponens rule. So మనం derive చేసాం కాబట్టి rule T. Okay na? And next another premise, given premise Q implication R. ఇది మనకి ఇచ్చిన ప్రాబ్లం లో ఉంది కాబట్టి Q implication R తీసుకున్నాం. అంటే మనకి ఇక్కడ మనం ఏం అబ్జర్వ్ చేయాలంటే బిఫోర్ స్టెప్ లో ఉన్న ప్రిమిస్ కి ఏ ప్రిమిస్ కన్సిడర్ చేస్తే మనకి నెక్స్ట్ స్టెప్ అనేది డిరైవ్ అవుతుందో అబ్జర్వ్ చేసుకుంటూ మనం ప్రిమిసెస్ ని యూజ్ చేసుకోవాలండి. ఓకేనా? సో Q implication R. సో Q implication R అనేది ఇచ్చిన ప్రిమిస్ కాబట్టి దాన్ని రూల్ P అని రాస్తున్నాం. So next, from these two steps, 3, 4, by modus ponens, Q implication R and Q, Q implication R and Q, it gives the conclusion R. So this is our required conclusion. Okay na? So ichina premises anni use chesama. In first step given premise P implication Q, in third step second step given premise P and third step Q implication R. Using these three given premises and we derive the conclusion R. సో ఇచ్చిన ప్రిమిస్ ని యూజ్ చేసుకుంటే దాని ఆపోజిట్ రూల్ పి అని మెన్షన్ చేస్తాము. ఉన్న ప్రిమిసెస్ ని బిఫోర్ స్టెప్ లో ఉన్న ప్రిమిసెస్ ని యూజ్ చేసుకొని మన దగ్గర ఉన్న రూల్స్ అప్లై చేసి రూల్ అప్లై చేస్తే అక్కడ రూల్ టీ అని మెన్షన్ చేస్తాము. ఏ స్టెప్స్ నుండి మనము ఆ రూల్ అప్లై చేసామనేది బ్రాకెట్స్ లో మెన్షన్ చేయాలి. కంపల్సరీ, ఇట్ ఈస్ కంపల్సరీ. ఓకేనా? ఏ రూల్ అప్లై చేసాము, ఏ స్టెప్స్ కి అప్లై చేస్తాము. సో ఇన్ థర్డ్ స్టెప్ వి డిరైవ్ Q from 1 2 steps by using modus ponens rules. After that, we use another premise of given premise PQ implication R. From 3 and 4, we derive R. So here it mentioned rule T and sorry here R and only rule T modus ponens by the steps 3, 4. Okay.